It's Saucy Saturday, KK.
My favorite Saturday.
You know? And we're talking about something that we're fucking passionate about. Like one
We
day
are so passionate. I can't keep it in cookies.
Chocolate not chip any
cookies.
Cookie.
It is the queen of cookies.
It is our passion. And one day we will sell the cookies to the world.
One day we will sell cookies to everybody in the land.
And just chocolate chip cookies, I think. It's like the only cookie we need.
I mean, we're going to branch out, but we'll start with chocolate chip.
I don't know. I have a hard time. I have a hard time cheating on.
Okay, don't get the secret away. I'm done with this.
Okay, so the other day Eric calls me because we have a love affair with one particular recipe that we've been making over and fucking over and over and over, and everybody loves
like weekly. Like it's like weekly that we're making this.
Everybody I fucking know, like my kids' teachers, the kids, every fucking buddy has had this cookie. Okay, I have it in my freezer. So Eric was like, "Oh, I want to have something different."
Is that how I fucking talk?
Just like that.
Don't make me imitate you. Okay.
And I was like, what do you want? And he's like, I want a cakey cookie. And I was like, okay. So I gave him a recipe that I thought was fluffier than our recipe. And he was like, no, that's not it. Right? It was like,
now I fucking talk. Like, anyways, let me take over this abomination you call a podcast right now. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Like, I'm serious about cookies. And
yes.
So yeah, I did. I wanted like a bigger, cakier type cookie. Don't get me wrong. The cookies that you and I make that are flatter and chewier are delicious and they're great. I just wanted something thick and cakey.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to research on what to do. And there's so many things going on the internet right now. Like if you go on all these food blogs and things like that and all these different cooking groups on Facebook, people talk about how the cookies are spreading and how, you know, they're not coming out the way they want to. And everybody thinks it's the butter, and then to refrigerate your dough. And yeah, you should refrigerate your dough because it does help solidify the butter.
Mm-hmm.
And it does help it stop spread a bit. But at the end of the day, I'm reading all this and I am not formally educated in pastry, but I just thought to my head, I'm like, well, if you want a bigger, cakier cookie that doesn't spread, you just add more flour.
More dry ingredients.
That's it. So This recipe was really good. I sent it to you, Madi.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really simple. It's your basic cookie recipe. So it was a cup of butter. It was a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of granulated sugar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I did put a lot more than 1 teaspoon of vanilla because there is a lot more flour in this recipe.
Right. It calls for cake flour.
It does call for 4 cups of cake flour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that is going to help. So it does call for 4 cups of cake flour, 2 tablespoons cornstarch, 2 tablespoons baking powder, and then 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda.
Which is so weird.
Yes.
It's little, right?
It's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then 2 cups of chocolate chips.
A fuck ton.
Okay. And you know that Maddie and I don't really use chocolate chips. We take the chocolate bars, and just to let you know, I have a massive sweet tooth. I actually use milk chocolate in my cookies.
Me too.
And you let the dough sit for 30 minutes in your refrigerator, and then you take it out. And I took a measuring cup, a 1/3 cup measuring cup. So they're large cookies, roll them to a ball, put them on parchment paper, 375 degrees. I did for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let it cool because I do like my cookies softer. If you want them a little bit harder, just leave them in 2 minutes longer. And they were cakey. They were so good. They did not spread.
No, not
and can I tell you, I've been like dreaming of like a cakey cookie for like the past like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had it, it was just like perfect.
Cause you know what it reminded me of?
Tell me.
Like, it's almost like a muffin top.
Yeah.
But cookie flavored.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Right? Cause it's fluffy. Yeah. It's a little fluffier than a cookie that you would normally eat, but it's really fucking delicious.
And you can, and all honesty, with this, you if you have regular flour, use your regular flour too. I think what also helps this is the cornstarch.
It makes it
in there because there are 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in this recipe.
Yeah.
And it is just cakey. It's good. It's hearty. But if you're wondering what's wrong, and this butter also, as opposed to the other recipe you and I use, Madi, this butter is not melted. It is room temperature.
Yeah, it's creamed.
It is. And to me, it just came out so delicious and so good. So when you're looking for that cookie and you want that cakey cookie, my belief now is it has nothing to do with your butter.
Nothing.
It has nothing to do with your ingredients. You just add more dry ingredients to this.
Right.
And that's it. And then notice it also called for 1 cup of firmly packed brown sugar and then a 1/2 cup of white sugar. And I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist, but I think that may have a little bit also to do with it because there's molasses in the brown sugar.
Right. It makes the cookie chewier because this does need
Yes.
a little bit more moisture because of the nature of flour is dry.
Yes. And I will say I'm very grateful that I do have a stand mixer because this dough is very thick.
Yeah.
And very hardy. And if you try to do it by hand, I mean, you're literally like, you almost feel like you can roll it out on your counter. That's how thick this dough is.
By the way, I saw this hack the other day that you get your cookie dough and you spread it on top of a cookie sheet, but the kind that has like a lip.
Right.
And you spread it and then you refrigerate it and then you cut it into like squares or whatever. And that's like a good way to portion out your cookie dough when you have a lot of cookie dough to portion out.
That is a good way to do it.
Which I've never done before. I thought it was pretty smart.
That is a good way to do it. I will say, I make fun of you for freezing your cookie dough.
It's the best.
I make the whole fucking batch at once. And because then what I don't eat, I then give to my employees the next day because I don't want to keep, honestly, I just don't want to keep them around.
Right.
And, you know, team members love that. So the other day, I really wanted something sweet and I didn't have anything in the house. And then all of a sudden at like 9:00 at night, I'm like, oh my God, I have frozen cookie dough.
See?
And I just rolled them up into balls and then put them in the Ziploc bag and zipped it. And then when I opened it up, I was able to break off 3 or 4 of the cookie dough balls and then just put them right in the oven right from there.
You're welcome, bitch. I told you. Whatever. You never listen, dog.
No, I don't. That's I know better. I've known you too long.
So yeah, we tried a new cookie. I think we'll link the recipe we tried on.
Yeah, it's a good cookie. I would go back to our regular recipe that you and I do, but I think this satiated my craving of what I really, really wanted was like this cakey cookie. And again, when you do make this recipe, you do have to alter, at least from my taste buds. I have to alter it with the vanilla. We're going to get into vanilla one day.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to get into vanilla.
More salt.
Okay, more salt.
I'm a salty cookie bitch. Yeah.
You know, it might be good if you put like flaky salt on top.
Which I didn't do this time because I was in a pinch, but that's always the way to go. Always. But I was going to say, I promise, let's make a promise to our people that we're going to make the perfect cakey cookie recipe, you and me. Now that we have a little bit of experience under our belt with this recipe that is pretty good.
Yeah.
We're going to make the ultimate cakey cookie.
At the end of the day, we're going to make the ultimate chocolate chip cookie one day. We're almost there. I feel it in my loins.
I love your loins so much.
Okay. Don't let your husband hear that. Anyways, my mom would be very happy right now.
Nah, she knows. Yes. But this Saucy Saturday is really dedicated again to our favorite cookie. And we're going in deep on a variation because just because you make a good cookie one way doesn't mean you can't go back in and try to change it. Cause there's so many different kinds of chocolate chip cookies that I encourage you to try them all. Just because you found a good one doesn't mean you can't perfect that shit or make it.
And that's the thing. Like you and I have a good one that we do again weekly in our homes, but this is something that was just different. It was something that I really wanted different and I wanted it. And my team members loved it, by the way. Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and link that recipe. And then I'm also going to link our chocolate chip cookie recipe, episode to our show notes in case you missed it or need a refresher, because that cookie recipe will never
gonna change your world. It's a little bit more work, but it changes your world.
It'll never let you down. Yeah. All right. I think I had a cookie climax.
You did. I feel that all the time.
I need to roll over and go to sleep now.
We'll smoke a cigarette and go to sleep.
All right, you guys. We hope you enjoyed this little Saucy Saturday about our favorite topic, chocolate chip cookies. Enjoy your week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.